Hello fellow ticket holders and welcome to our newest video. This video is a spoiler video for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, so if you do not want to be spoiled, please go ahead and click away. But if you are here to see what this ride was all about and our experience with it, come with us in this video as we do Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind for a DVC preview. Alright, let's get started. So docked right outside the World of Xandar Pavilion, we have a Xandar Star Blaster ship. And as we curl around the Star Blaster ship, the first thing we notice is that the color of the building is different than when it used to be the Universe of Energy building. And we are greeted by some plants that look like they are from out of this world. Next, we see the official Wonders of Xandar sign, and another sign that says from our world to yours. Next, we enter into a circular room, which is the first main queue area of the building, and a room that looks like a planetarium. And this room is actually known as the Galaxitarium. And D23 describes this as a planetarium-like exhibition showcasing the connection between Xandar and Terra, or Earth. And as you can see here, this is basically what was the Universe of Energy pre-show room. And instead of standing here watching a pre-show, you now just circle your way up to the top to the back of that room. At the top of the ramp, you are greeted with a few switchbacks and these cool lamps that kind of look like eggs or something. But these ramps are leading you to the Xandar Exhibition Hall. In the Xandar Expedition Hall, we have a video that talks about the planet of Xandar and its resources and visions and how it's very similar to Earth's. A model showcasing Xandar City, which is very similar to Progress City model that's on the People Mover. A smaller model of that Star Blaster ship, and there's some descriptions about what the ship is and how it works and how they use them all together to make the little mesh thing. A small display of Xandar Nova Corps uniforms, and finally one of the most funny parts of this area, a ABC-esque type news feed where they interview the Guardians of the Galaxy. And this next clip is of an Easter egg where Peter Quill talks about his visit to Epcot as a kid, and he loved riding Horizons.
It's awesome. I went there as a kid, and I mean, I cannot wait to get to go back and ride Horizons.
We really enjoyed this whole area of the queue line. It definitely has that classic Epcot exhibition feel and edutainment. The next room, which is the World of Xandar Welcome Center, is the first pre-show room for the actual attraction itself.
I am Nova Prime Irani Rayan, Commander of the Nova Corps. On behalf of all Xandarians, I hope you have enjoyed exploring the wonders of Xandar.
Epcotians, citizens of Epcot. Does anyone know what they call themselves? What? I'm on? Someone needs to tell me when I'm on. Welcome, Epcot-tarians. I am Centurion Tal Merrick, and we're just about ready to teleport you up to the ship for the demonstration.
After some kind words from the commander, we are then moved into the next room, which is actually the teleportation room. In this room, we are teleported up to a Xandar ship to actually see the cosmic generator working.
Inside the lighted ring, you do not want to know what happened last time someone did not stand where I told them to, okay?
And in just a few moments, we'll be activating it so you can experience for yourself what's happening.
I'm not sure. Our power's out.
So at this point, the stuff that I missed, the Guardians of the Galaxy were called in for assistance, and during that call, Eason, a big man outside the ship, was taking the cosmic generator away. He did this because he said that he needed to go back in time to erase errors of the people of Earth, and so he created a jump point and was headed back in time. So because this was an emergency situation, Nova Corps wanted to get us back to Earth as quick as possible on the rescue shuttles, but Rocket had other ideas, and he said we needed to send these rescue shuttles after Eason because the Guardians of the Galaxy were so far away from him, they needed a way to track him. So he went ahead and reprogrammed the shuttles to go after Eason, and that's when we were headed to the rescue shuttles to get on to follow him.
Oh my god. Once we cannot stop this unusually large man, then you're likely doomed.
Rex!
Good luck! You're gonna need it.
Noise.
No one's gonna stop rock and roll from existing. What have we done?
I think we jumped back.
We gotta get that generator. It's the only way back.
There it is. We got the generator.
Rocket to get us back.
Anytime. Okay. Let me try. Milky Way just formed. I hate Milky. Well, we're here. It's about time. Of course it is about time. Have you not been paying attention? Nova team, link your scan blasters. We have them contained, but not for long.
Sure is. Stands for every person comes out tired. And welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
We have no room in our ship for these new guards.
Drax, it's an honorary title. They're not coming with us.
I see. It is meaningless. Well then welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Where's that cake toast?
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed our time at the parks. As you can see, we are not at the park anymore.
I can't believe it was only like a week ago.
Yeah, so we're about a week out, which actually has given us time to think about it, see other people's videos, and actually like compile our thoughts on this. So I kind of want to make this as quick as possible, but we will start by talking about the front of the buildings. If you've seen it, I have stated in the other video that I'm not sure I like the new color scheme of just a gray building. Because before you had that rainbow colored building that just stuck out, and then the mosaic tile mirror on the walls. That was really fun. And then just the fountain that used to be out front. So just to have the spaceship sitting there. But I guess it makes sense that it's just docked there.
Yeah, I miss the rainbow colors too and the tiles, but I mean it's a whole different new attraction, and they had to change the colors.
Had to do something.
And they had to do a simple grayish color. It's a nice color. I love gray, but I do miss the pop of color that it used to have.
So one funny thing about the spaceship parked out front that was pointed out by Theme Park Express, and it may have been pointed out by other people, but that's where we first saw it on YouTube. Is that apparently the center line of the spaceship is not center line to the concrete on the launching pad or the landing pad. Now, I guess it doesn't have to be, because if you were actually landing it, you probably wouldn't get it centered, so I guess that might be why. But to some people that like symmetry, it kind of is off. And if I can find this picture, I would have put it up on the screen so you can see it, but it's kind of funny.
We're just being picky now.
But one thing outside before we go indoors that I think is interesting is that there is no exterior queue for people to line up. So
it's all in the heat.
So they're either expecting to have high capacity enough to keep everybody indoors, because there is a lot of queue inside, or they're just going to do like when we were there, and I've seen other previews, they're going to just put tape down on the left side of the building and kind of just make temporary queue outside. But I think if they can't do the capacity or the ride breaks down, then there's nowhere for people to go. So I think they should have put at least holes on the ground, I guess, to put the little stanchions down, but they didn't, and they're just using tape. So I found that's interesting, but the future will show if they actually need outdoor queuing or not. So then from there, you go inside. So once you go inside the building, you are greeted by the World of Xandar sign, and you make the corner into the Galaxitarium, the planetary big circle room, as I described. And with the way that we were running through there, we didn't get a chance to actually see much of the show up on the ceiling.
Yeah, we saw some of it.
And I've watched videos online just to see what it talks about, and I feel like if you don't stand in the line long enough, you will miss some of the storyline to help with the whole ride. And I think that's going through fully, because we did miss a lot of stuff all the way through the queue and through the pre-shows. And so you do the ride and you're kind of just left scratching your head like, what is the storyline here? But yeah, it's a pretty cool line. It looks like there's going to be 2 doors on each side, because we only had half of the circle queue up to the top full, and there's a second door. So I'm assuming the other door is the lightning lane one. So then you kind of like intertwine each other up to the top. So it's a really neat room to see that type of thing with just the ramps, because I think that helps make it handicap accessible. Then next, at the top of the ramp, we entered into the Xandar Exhibition Hall. And this was a really neat area. It definitely has that old Epcot edutainment, as I said, feel to it. And it was neat to see the technology that they used in there with the video screen, and then the model city, kind of like I said, the Progress City model. And then they used the projection mapping, kind of like they did with the Epcot experience over top of that, to kind of enhance that model. So that was really neat.
In that city, there is a hidden Mickey, so be on the lookout for it.
Yeah, we missed it, but in some of the other videos we saw, so there's a hidden Mickey in that city, so that's really neat. And then finally, at the end of that section is the ABC-esque type morning show, and to have Peter Quill make comments about Epcot, that is the major Easter egg that we saw in the queue. Not only did he talk about Horizons, he talked about seeing the dinosaurs in the Energy Pavilion, and he wanted to go sing Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit. Yeah. So that was pretty neat.
That was pretty cool. It's a nice homage to Epcot. Also, going back to the beginning of the exhibition hall, there are some screens that show Walt Disney pops up. We didn't get to see it, but we've seen it on videos, and it shows his footprint for Epcot. So that was really cool too. Yep. We wish we could have seen it, but we missed it.
I kind of saw it from afar when we were down. Yeah, when we were looking down. Up to all the switchbacks.
We just saw, is that Walt Disney when we were seeing it?
But we missed it when we were in front of it to hear what they were talking about.
It just never came back. It's like in a loop.
So after that, that's basically the end of what would be the actual queue, because then you would enter into the first pre-show room. And as I said, that is the Welcome Center room where you are greeted by the commander, and nothing really special happened in there. And then you move into the second one, which is the teleportation room. This is where they kind of use a lot of strobe lights and flashing lights.
So be careful if you're prone to motion sickness with that. I had to close my eyes. It was getting a little bit too much for me.
And then it goes pitch black, and that wall drops, and it made it seem like you had been teleported up to the spaceship.
So something we were expecting from that room, since we were being teleported, was sort of like at Gringotts over in Universal. The room would start to shake, when the elevator shaft and you're going down. We thought it was going to shake or do something. No, it's just a bunch of flashy lights.
Yeah, so it kind of was off throwing, not knowing what was happening in this room. Yeah. I knew we were going to the teleportation room, but I expected the room to move.
Or move or shake.
But the only thing happens is the wall will drop, and it's like you have arrived. So that's definitely an interesting room. There could have been more maybe that was planned but didn't happen. But it's definitely a weird sensation in there, especially everybody's just looking straight up, and I guess they want you to so they can drop that wall.
Yeah.
So after the teleportation room, you are finally getting into the last line, which is headed up the ramp to the loading station.
And it is incredible the way they present that, because you are just like, they throw it in your face. You just walk in there, you turn to your left, and you see below you, from the bridge sort of, and you're just looking down below
onto the train coming
onto the 2 trains from each side coming in, and
which I was very surprised that they were running dual loading, but that's how they're going to keep the high capacity. So it looks like they're going to have 3 trains running, from what I can tell. So you'd have 1 inside the show building actually doing the ride, and 2 loading, and those are alternating back and forth, loading and launching. So if they can keep the load time quick then they can actually pump through capacity like crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool the way they set you up for that. It gets you really excited for the ride.
Yeah, and the theming there was really neat. And my favorite theming in this room in the loading platform is up on the wall. They have the NovaCore logo in like a neon sign,
it's really nice.
in the blue and the red, and it was really cool up there. Love that they're gonna have this high capacity double loading, kind of like Big Thunder Mountain, where you come down the ramp and you kind of curl both directions. That's how the loading is going, so that was pretty neat. Then finally you do get onto the train, which the seating is huge. You have plenty of room to pull the lap bar down, plenty of room for bags, seeing as Disney lets you bring bags on a roller coaster at your feet, so the trains are cool.
The little bag in front of you is really small. It's great for phones or smaller items, but I try to put my cap on in there, and it was like a tight squeeze. You gotta really like squeeze it in there.
So for the most part, everything has to go on the floor. But once you load and go up the initial lift hill, this is the last time you talk to the Guardians before you go through the jump point that was being held open for you to follow Isan through. And there's some jokes in there. At that point, once you get up through the jump point, now you're in the pitch black in the show building, and everything just begins. And it was really neat to go up and make the turn and do the backwards launch, because this is Disney's first reverse launch coaster.
The backwards launch was amazing.
Now we were in row 4.
Yeah.
So we were basically dead center of the train.
Yeah.
I guess being a coaster enthusiast and doing other launch coasters, you kind of expect it to be a little bit faster. But again, I don't know if you were in the front, it being pulled, it would be faster than in the back rows, or being center train. It just wasn't as intense.
It was. I still loved it.
It was good,
amazing for
but
me.
I expected it to be faster. But
because that's where the music starts.
Yep.
And so it gets you excited, and then you're just like, it's unexpected. Like it just takes you back, knocks you backward. You start going backwards.
And apparently there are 6 music tracks, and we had September by Earth, Wind and Fire, which I think was a perfect song for this ride. It being a high tempo song, and the way that you move through this track and this course, it worked perfectly. So I'm glad we had that song. Another thing is this is a Omni coaster, as Disney likes to call it, which means it does move. It's not a free spin like Laugh Track or a mouse coaster.
Laugh Track is in Hershey, for those of you that don't know. It's like a mouse coaster, but it moves.
But it's all free spin. This is not spinning. This never ever makes, as far as I could tell, a full rotation. You're always going either to the side or the other side.
It's a controlled
and you kinda,
spinning. It's really cool. As Chad mentioned, we are roller coaster enthusiasts. This is made by Vekoma, which is done. All the roller coasters at Disney is done by Vekoma
for the most part. All
and
of them.
It is the smoothest Vekoma we've been on at Disney, and it's super smooth. Hopefully the track stays that way, the upkeep stays that way, and it doesn't make it janky or rough. The car design is absolutely gorgeous with the blues and the details, and they're, like he mentioned, the lap bar does go down. I did staple myself, so be careful. You don't need to push on that lap bar. Just pull it down right against your waist. Don't go crazy like I did, because you can get stapled on that ride, and that won't be a good experience for you. It was a beautiful ride. They did a good job with that.
Now inside I feel that it's very hard to follow the storyline.
You can't. It goes quick.
So it's really hard. And again, like I said, if you don't catch the story from the pre-shows and the queue, and you get into the ride, it is still a great roller coaster. It's still a great experience, but we came off like, what was the final story? Like, we didn't really understand it, and it actually took watching multiple videos on YouTube to kind of catch what the storyline is.
Something else before he continues on. While you're riding, it's like it's air. There's air all around you, and it's
really like you're floating.
Like you're floating, and your hair is going all over the place, or if it's loose like mine was, and it's like windy in there. It's really cool special effects that they did in that ride.
No, the ride itself is fantastic. It definitely makes you feel like you are just flying through space and just going out of control, even though, again, you're not out of control. They're controlling you. The way they have the track made and the way they have you tilting at the times of the spins, the spin of the track that is, not the spin of the vehicle, it's perfect. It makes you feel like you're floating and flighting through space and chasing the Guardians. And then when you come to a stop at the end, you have one more congratulations from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and again, some more humor from them,
jokes.
which that's just the way they
Supposedly it changes.
That's what they've heard. Every video that I've seen, they kind of had the same ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool. Really love this ride. As I stated, I think in the other video, this is my favorite roller coaster at Walt Disney World. I believe this is my favorite indoor roller coaster that I've ever done. Even though we've not really done many indoors, and most of the indoors we've done is like Laugh Track or other mice inside. And yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing how capacity is going to work. That's the one thing that just keeps sitting in the back of my head. How are they going to push people through? Now, Disney has said on their website at the time of this recording that they are going to start out by just doing virtual queue and the premium lightning lane. So that's something to consider if you are watching this now before it opens or while it's initially open. You have to choose which way. Either you're going to try to get the free one or you're going to pay to ride it. I think it'd be worth at least the first time paying for the lightning lane if you can afford it, because I feel like there's going to be, knowing Disney at this time, they're going to have more of those over the free ones, unfortunately. But hopefully in the future, when things get going, that they can go like everything else and do a standby queue with the paid lightning lane, to give the option that if you get there early, you might as well just go straight to the line like Rise of the Resistance or like Flight of Passage, and maybe wait 30 to an hour and then go on with your day. And that's just, I guess, the way it is now with Disney.
Okay, if you are prone to motion sickness, be careful with this ride. You might get sick. Everyone is different.
Yeah.
I usually, as I grow older, I am getting more prone to motion sickness. But I could usually do rides like these, like Goofy Sky School or Laugh Track. I could easily do them at least once. This one really tore me up. Still loved it. It was amazing, themed wonderfully. Tip: don't go on an empty stomach. I stupidly went on an empty stomach, and we weren't keeping up on being hydrated as well, and we were out in the sun all day. So next time, I'm really excited to try and be more prepared by eating a little something. It doesn't have to be a full, don't go in with a full meal neither.
No.
You want a little snack or a protein bar or something. And
or give yourself an hour after eating, just so it starts digestion.
And lots of water.
Yeah.
But if you are prone, pop in that Dramamine. I took a non-drowsing Dramamine. I might take an extra strength Dramamine next time just in case. And we'll see from there. I'm really excited to see if it messes me up again. I really want to enjoy it to the complete fullest next time. I started getting sick immediately after the jump points. It was just, I was done. But I'm so glad I still went through it. And I can't wait to be back to ride it again. I hope I could fully enjoy it. But just a warning, it has lots of strobes. You might get dizzy, even though it's a controlled spin. Because you're looking at huge projection screens and they're constantly moving. You're just constantly all over.
Oh, and I guess that's the one last thing I want to say. I think that Universal Studios may have done it better with Green Gods, where if there's a show, something they want to show you on the screen, they stop you. Where this, if you're not paying attention to the screens,
it's constantly moving.
Again, you're not catching the storyline. So I like Escape from Green Gods, where Universal has you stop, you see the story, and you keep moving.
And then you keep moving.
I think that works better.
They have 3D, which is, that's another thing. I'm so glad they didn't utilize 3D glasses here. They just don't work for us. We have glasses, and they're all wonky, and I'm so glad.
Because I think with the controlled spin, that would have even made it worse to have glasses.
Yeah,
but it's unnecessary because the screens are far enough away. Any 3D effect would have been gone anyway. Where at least Green Gods, you're like right on top of the screen when they stop you. And I think it's maybe why they stop you is because of 3D. But
that was the difference with that. But yeah,
that's the only other indoor coaster I can think of that's very close to this is Green Gods. If you were to take Green Gods and just keep moving. And I guess we have one more final thing that we can discuss. Do you need to see the Guardians of the Galaxy movies to ride this ride? I think the short answer is no. Because again, this is talking about Xandar and them coming to Epcot with this exhibition compared to actually the Guardians movies. Now,
it does take place after they save it. the place after they save Xander.
So if you've seen the movies, you'll get a little bit more references because you understand the characters, you understand their humor.
And their characteristics.
Right, so you will get that. But if you're coming in not seeing the movies, you can definitely do this attraction, since it's its own storyline.
Yeah, and they set you up anyway in the pre-show areas.
Yeah, and like I said, just pay attention. Like, from the door through the whole attraction, if you're waiting outside, there's really nothing about it. But once you go in that door, pay attention to all the screens and all the information, because the more information you take in, the more the storyline that you will get out of it.
It is super immersive, and that is something I absolutely love from Disney rides, the storytelling. They do that over there in Dinosaur in the pre-show. You know how it is, and it's great to see that again.
Alright, so if you happen to have ridden this ride already, please let us know in the comments below and tell us, do you like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind? Do you not like it? What did you not like it? And if you have not ridden it yet, tell us if you're excited and what you're looking forward to the most about this ride. And we hope that this may have helped some people or brought some information. And so until next time, be safe, be kind, and adventure on. Bye!
Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below.